Welcome back, Lelanders, to some new coverage, breaking news on the Intellivision and the Intellivision Amico. Now, a lot of the viewers of my channel subscribed and they said, hey man, what's the deal? You haven't made any new Intellivision Amico content in ages. When are you going to make some new updates? There's a lot of shit that's happened. So, yeah, that was the main reason I had before. Hadn't made any new videos about the Intellivision Amico because there wasn't really any new updates. But now there has been quite a few. And today what we're going to talk about is not only the gift, speculation about what it could be that Intellivision is giving away as the free gift, and how a farm team could possibly save the Intellivision Amico. So I don't know if anyone wants to hear my ideas about what we're going to propose to Tommy to help improve the Intellivision Amico, but here we go. This is what we'll be doing. Alright, so I'll kind of just do this show as an open format. People can call in if they want on the Discord page. Just gotta join the Discord group. Hey Omar, how's it going? Yeah, so if you want to join the chat, get your voices, opinions, as long as everyone keeps it clean, you can just join the Discord page. So if you want to do that, just let me know in the chat and I'll send the link. Alright, so first what I got here on the screen is a little bit of a picture of the Intellivision console, the original one. Not to get away with any copyright stuff, this is just from the Wikipedia page. Hopefully give shout out to the Intellivision company for having this page all up there. I was just checking here the best selling games for the Intellivision. Check that out. Let me make it a little bit bigger. That's what she said. No, it's here. Best-selling games is Blackjack, Las Vegas Poker, and Major League Baseball. And they did sell millions of copies. And online capable with Play Cable. Isn't that amazing? Alright, so first what we'll do is I guess we'll cover the breaking news. Is Tommy has some people posting stuff on a group called Atari Age. So I don't know if this is an official post from Tommy or just someone in his team. Or maybe it's just someone joking, but a lot of people have been covering it as saying this is what the reward is going to be for the latest delay. And if people haven't heard, the Intellivision Amico is a game console based on the retro one that I just showed, but a reimagined version. And it's been delayed, I guess, now for getting close to 2 years. I think the original first announcement was... Well, first Tommy announced it 2 years before it was supposed to come out. Then it got canceled. And then I think this is the second cancel, or maybe even the third, I think someone was saying. But anyways, yeah, so we've got some ideas on how we can improve the company. Maybe get it over a few more cancellations even. Get a little bit of extra funding. Well, let's continue. So here it says that the gift looks like it's going to be music valued at over $200 from Video Games Live. And I think this is kind of weird. A lot of people put it in the chat too. There's a lot of people that got the Amico don't even like Video Games Live. And it's really not anything to do with it other than being video games. That's always wondered too. Does Tommy have the copyrights to all these video game songs to be selling them as $200 value? Like, I can't just make a remix of the latest video game tracks and then sell it, can I? I don't think so. But I'm sure he does have all the copyrights for it, because especially a lot of it's from stuff he worked on, like Earthworm Jim. But that was like the main thing I heard. Oh, Tron, Light Cycle. As extra gifts, we also included but I think everyone is saying that these are all digital downloads. So it's kind of a letdown to some people. It's not really any value to them as a digital download unless they're getting like a t-shirt or a poster or something actual physical items. Oh, speaking of physical items, just to show off, I am a legit Intellivision fan. I do have an Intellivision box. What is it? Star Strike from a print. I think it even says on here the date. I'm pretty sure it said 1979. So it's really the same age as me. That's my birth year as well. Yeah, it's got the plastic insert thing, but sadly I don't have the cartridge for Star Strike anymore. It got lost over the years. Oh yeah, here it is. Made in Hong Kong. Oh, Mattel, 1981, so not 79. That's what kind of scares me. This box smells like such an antique, and we're roughly the same age. Now, and I do have the original card from my collection of Astro Smash. So that was one game I was happy to see with the Amico. And if anyone's wondering about my video history, if they haven't seen my previous videos, I'm one of the Amico's biggest critics, but I'm also one of Tommy's biggest fans and Intellivision's biggest fans. So if you're wondering where I'm coming from, it's like, yeah, I do love Intellivision. I love Tommy. Not a big Amico fan, but I think there's potential in it. Especially that's what we'll talk about now. Let's get over this latest news. If anyone's got comments or news about that. Oh, thanks for the beard comment. Appreciate it. Now, I was like, I needed something to attach my microphone to because I can't talk very good. So I found the beard worked best. Alright, so yeah, that's what we got on Atari Age was the latest news. And let's talk about Intellivision. Alright, so yesterday I was actually talking to Papa Pete online. Sorry if any hot babes are sending me messages here while I got my Facebook open. But anyways, yeah, Papa Pete and me were talking about the Intellivision. And he was sharing some stuff about Intellivision retro games. And I was commenting that they look really great. It reminds me of the original cases, how they used to look. This Gorf one looks very similar. And I was talking to him, and he said, no, they're not original Intellivision games. They're like retro games that people have made at this website here. And they've like made cartridges that work on the original Intellivision hardware. So if you have an Intellivision, you can play them. So I was like, man, that's fucking amazing, right? So I've heard of this type of thing before, but I just bring it up on the screen. Yeah, so here it is, Gorf. And I was thinking it's funny because this is the one that looks very similar to Star Strike. It's almost like the exact same box design. And how it's the same on both boxes. They got that ship shooting, the writing. It's very similar. But I was thinking this is really cool. I like how the retro community has done this. And this is one thing that's kind of like disappointed me with the Intellivision Amico, is in a lot of cases they're going back to the retro stuff from Intellivision, but kind of abandoning the Intellivision community from the original retro days at the same time. Because they're literally saying that the Intellivision Amico is not made for gamers. And I think a lot of people that used to play Intellivision are probably gamers. So it's kind of disappointing to them that it's not made for gamers. We kind of wish it was, just in that retrospect. And you can see why, is because there's a community that still loves the Intellivision, and they like the idea of like, that's what I really like too, is the original people doing these retro games are making these cards and everything, the inserts and cartridge. Like, look at that. That's a fucking real hardware cartridge. I know that's one of the big things I haven't talked about that's news from Intellivision, is everyone's realized that they're not getting games. Like, there's no actual physical hardware ever for Amico. And that's one of the things that pisses people off, is they want the cartridges. They want the inserts. That's what I was thinking as an Intellivision fan. That's what I love the most about Intellivision. It's the fucking inserts, the actual physical cartridges, the boxes. So there was one good news. I should say that it's not all bad news. Let's bring up the Intellivision store. Hope Intellivision doesn't mind me sharing images of their store, promoting it. Sorry, I got a phone call right now. It could be important. Health issues in the family. We'll just check quick. Hello? Okay, I don't want any used shirts. Does it work? Yeah, it's a little bit too much. Alright, talk to you later. Alright, bye. Alright, bye. Well, that was good news. No, just it was my family calling, but they got some leads on a PS2 that was for sale. I don't know, $60 for a working PS2, a bunch of games. It's like it's a little bit steep because you never know with PS2, right? Could break at any time. Kind of old console. But anyways, yeah, speaking of, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, like these fucking classic games that people are making, like retro ones, it's a fucking genius idea. Oh yeah, and we're going to go check out the Intellivision page. So I was checking the Intellivision page to see what's been happening with them and what they got going in their store. Because like I like Intellivision, I want to buy some Intellivision products. What do they got for sale? And a lot of it is like the old retro stuff, like Utopia, my very favorite game for Intellivision. So I'm very tempted to buy this shirt in a way. But I was thinking like all this retro stuff for sale. Did they have the games on here? Because I noticed like they showed that the games were for sale. I don't know. Where can you buy the games? Is it in the store? No, they showed that they had like the physical game boxes that they started to make and sell. I don't see them anywhere in the shop. It's kind of disappointing. But I was thinking, like, you can tell that Intellivision, I don't know if they're doing these shirts just as a treat to fans. Oh, here's Star Strike, the one that I got the game for. No, but I was thinking, like, is this like a tribute to like retro game people? As like these shirts are for sale. Hey guys, if you want to buy these wild, like official branded Intellivision shirts, you can. I do like these; they're pretty cool. But I was thinking, like, if that's what it is a tribute to gamers. Like say, hey guys, the Amico's not really for you, but at least we'll give you some shirts you can buy. Which I kind of like that. But it's like, why not take it a next level? Add a whole farm team to the Intellivision team. And if anyone's wondering what the hell I'm talking about the farm team, let's go to here. Now I was looking at this on Wikipedia. Farm teams are pretty much used in all organizations and businesses if they want to be successful. So it's basically a team that's like a nursery or a feeder team where everything gets like boosted up. Players go there, play. They learn how to be really good players, and then they get all their way up to the major leagues. So sort of like in baseball, they got the minor leagues, AAA league, I think they call it. Yeah, AAA Buffalo. That's where my team, the Blue Jays, plays. And then they got like ice hockey. Yeah, they got the minor leagues, the AHL, the OHL. And then there's soccer with all their different minor leagues. So that's what I'm kind of comparing Intellivision to, is like a league, like a company. And they kind of need like a farm team to help them get better. Because I was thinking, we can all admit, even if you're a skeptic or a fan of the Amico at this point, that it's definitely got some issues and it's going to need some help. Like I know like a lot of people think Tommy's going to still have a good chance, turn this around. But I think at this point, even the most avid fans are starting to realize, hey, there's some serious problems. Controllers got issues, the game's got issues. A lot of the company organization seems to be improving. I have to say, I watched that interview with the new guy who's doing public relations for Intellivision, who did an interview, and he did a really good job. And not to say Tommy isn't fun to listen to, but some of it is getting a little bit repetitive. Alright, so anyways, that's the farm team, the speculation, Papa Pete, those. Alright, so now we're going to get into some of the other speculation that I heard on Atari Age or one of the investment forums for Intellivision, or someone who made a video about it. And they were saying that NFTs are some of the new game technology. That when you buy the game box, it's empty. I'm not even sure if there's actually going to be an RFID code in it, or if you just get part of the NFT ownership. I've never really heard of NFTs before, so if anyone else hasn't heard of them before, well, we'll cover it briefly here. So this could be just wrong and the Intellivision isn't using this technology. My guess is that this Intellivision Amico was always going to use cloud-based. So we'll get into this game technology that's speculated to be for the Amico and an alternative version that could help with the farm teams. So anyways, so the Intellivision Amico is apparently going to be using this NFT, which is sort of like a digital online way of creating art and selling the rights to it. So sort of like instead of painting a painting and selling it to someone and then putting it in museums and stuff, and sometimes it goes on auction, this way you're like buying like baseball cards or posters or whatever, and you're just getting an NFT. So I don't know how this NFT works. Is it like an actual file that you get, or you just get ownership, or you get a link to it, some sort of receipt that says you own this digital thing? So I'm starting to wonder too, is maybe these NFTs, can they do like shares and stocks of them? I doubt it's going to be that intense, but yeah, so some people create all these different forms of artwork and stuff, and they use these NFT files. And I think what it is why is it controversial? Is they're saying it is set up a lot like the, can't put that, is it's set up a lot like, what do they call it, Bitcoin and stuff. So it uses, or cryptocurrencies. So it uses a crap load of energy. So they're saying that if all these Amico games start using NFT files, it kind of gets away from their vegan principles. I know I've heard Tommy mention before he wants to make the Amico as vegan as possible. So this NFT whole design, not only does it appear to create a little bit of lag when you're running NFT game files, because I don't know how this is going to work. Like, do you actually get the file on your system? A lot of people have been telling me that the Amico is going to come loaded with game files on it, and then you can play them off the system. And I was thinking, I doubt that. I'm kind of almost convinced that the Amico is never going to have the game files on it. You're always going to be streaming the games back and forth. You will never have the full game file on your console. So I know a lot of people that are into the retro community are kind of getting their hopes up that they can pirate the ROMs from the Amico. And I doubt that's going to happen, because I'm pretty sure the Amico ROMs will never be in the public domain. Like, you won't be able to get copies of them on your system. You'll only get like data being transferred back and forth on an online network somehow. That's why I doubt you'll ever be able to play Amico games offline. I could be wrong, and it might actually have like some built-in games to it, and it's just the other ones are download only or stream only. Like, I know Intellivision might get away and call it not cloud gaming and just streaming games, but I think that's what I mean by cloud gaming in general, is that it's being streamed. When I say cloud gaming, that's what I mean. I know it might be just like a brand of streaming games, so that's not really what I'm referring to. Oh yeah, shit, this website has a fucking ads. God. Sorry if that ad was playing over. Hopefully it was muted. So anyways, yeah, these... God. So yeah, can anyone make NFTs? There's like information about this NFT thing if anyone wants to check it out. But I think somewhere on here it said that it was related to cloud gaming in a way as well. So that's where I was thinking. In one of my other videos I said that I thought Amico would be a type of cloud gaming. So yeah, it looks like it is. So this is one of the things I was thinking, like, that I wouldn't mind to steer away from at the Intellivision Amico in a way, but maybe they don't have to do it with their main console, and this is where the farm team thing comes in. Alright, so let's go back to the farm team. So what do I mean by a farm team for the Intellivision Amico? What I was thinking of is a lot of gamers today, like the retro people, they like the mini, the classic consoles. Especially classic mini consoles for ones that are harder to get. Like, I think that's why the NES was so good, is because a lot of people are like, shit man, these NES games are getting harder to get. So people actually liked it. And people might debate that the Intellivision has already had like new versions. Holy Super Video Arcade. I gotta check YouTube, see if someone's made a video for that. No, so the Intellivision, it used to have different editions, like keyboards, cassette tapes, voice add-ons, newer editions. So this is where we get to what I'm talking about, the farm team. The Intellivision newer editions. Like, if Tommy is really making all these like tributes to the old retro community, look at this, the Intellivision System 3. Now that was a pretty fucking sweet update. So that's what I was thinking. I was going to call the Intellivision Amico the Intellivision 2, but really they were already up to part 3. So that's why they couldn't call it the 2. They would have to call it the Intellivision 4 or something. Alright, so here the Intellivision flashback console did release in, what was it, on October of 2014. So I was thinking, in a way, if Intellivision was nice to the retro game community for supporting the Amico for so long, Tommy could be in charge of making a new Intellivision flashback or mini, but instead of making it like this, make it better. So this is where I was talking about the farm team, is make an Intellivision Classic or Flashback, or call it the Intellivision 4, so that we're not confusing it with the Amico. This will be a separate entity of Intellivision, just tributed to the gaming community. And why? Because it'll be a farm team to help establish stuff for the Amico. Alright, so what do I mean that it'll be able to establish stuff for the Amico? Is when you look at these classic consoles, what we could do here, or Intellivision, or the community could help Intellivision do this, is basically what I heard how these consoles work. It could be wrong in this case, is they have like a regular chipboard in here. It's not the original Intellivision hardware, and it's just an emulator. And it emulates perfectly to run with this controller and all the ROMs. So I'm pretty sure this thing has ROMs in it. Yeah, it says Intellivision has built into ROMs, play 10 classic games. So I was thinking, here's what we could do for the Intellivision Classic 2, or the Intellivision Flashback 2, or the Intellivision 4, is for the retro community, release a new one that has no cord. So right away, we have a big improvement that the Intellivision New Classic will be a cordless design. But keep everything else the same, except for fix the disc. Because I heard the major complaint people had with this flashback, the disc still breaks. So just like the original one, the disc kept breaking. So people would have to buy new controllers. But to be honest, I found another solution that would even solve this disc breaking in the meantime. Alright, so I noticed that the Intellivision, the new Amico, kind of treats its viewers, or not its viewers, its target audience, the kids, as kind of like not very intelligent. We're going to give them basic stuff. Make it easy. Make all these like hindering things like so the games are easier for people that aren't very good at them. And I think that isn't the greatest idea, because in a lot of cases, kids in the modern age are super smart, like even smarter than adults. So it's like they're able to like make stuff, run 3D printers, run the latest iPhones. So it's like, that's what I was thinking, is the Intellivision community, not even just for kids, here, what they should do is come out with a 3D printing thing. Oh, we got a viewer message. Let's see here. It's from Teddy. He says he saw a screen cap post from Tommy on Reddit where he said when you get the FCC certification, we will share that with people and try to search the company. Nothing can be found. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I noticed Tommy probably isn't the greatest at the whole business aspect of it. I've tried to run my own business before and realized how difficult it is. And I think he's got so much on his plate that he's trying to juggle like 10 projects at the same time. That's actually when I heard Tommy and Victor do a speech live in Toronto. Or maybe this is one, yeah, this is one I heard streamed on YouTube. Is they were doing like a reunion special, and they were debating what happened about why they split up when Electric Playground went their separate ways. Why Tommy stopped doing videos on TV and did video games live. And Victor admitted that part of it, the reason is that Tommy started juggling too many projects at the same time. So he said that he had like a whole film crew all set up to tape the TV show, and Tommy would be on the phone organizing stuff for video games live. So he said it was getting too much, that he's like, hey Tommy, we can't really keep doing both projects here. You're kind of not getting both done, and it's costing me a lot of money. So that's why they ended up going their separate ways. So I started to wonder that too, if Tommy really is doing video games live and the Amico at the same time. It's a lot to juggle. So he's probably going to screw up on a lot of things, half-ass it, just trying to get everything done. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to be in charge of both, man. And you get age too. Like, I know I'm just getting into my mid 40s and I'm already starting to get like noticing decline. So it's not as easy to keep track of everything memory wise as it used to be. Back in my day, we used to buy drugs from gangs. Now we just get them from the government. All right, so yeah, what I was thinking, so there's the one upgrade that you can do for the Intellivision Amico controller, or for the classic, the new one, is make it wireless. And has anyone seen the new PlayStation module controller? So you get different modules, so you can like build your controller, like put the D-pad here, put the buttons over here. You can just modulize it. I was thinking that's what they could do for a really cool Intellivision classic controller, is modulize it so that each part, like the wheel or their number pad or just the shell itself, came in different modules, and you can design your controller any way you want and put them in it. And even get to the point where, like, I don't know if anyone's used this website before called Thingiverse, and how you can like get 3D printed designs. What I would do, instead of Intellivision Amico store just selling these like t-shirts and cups and stuff, they should have 3D like models section on Intellivision store, the Amico store. So you could start like 3D printing an Intellivision Running Man or 3D printing controllers and just drop the modules into them. So that's what I was thinking. Intellivision has like a lot of potential, where Tommy's smart and he's willing to bend if we debate with him enough. So I'm hoping maybe he'll like some of these ideas and at least consider them. Because I know he's a gamer at heart, right? We've heard him talk about games for all these years. Maybe what I was thinking too is if he does this like retro Intellivision update classic, he could have it on the store and then just sell consoles to help fund the Amico. Because I'm pretty sure I would buy an Intellivision retro classic that's updated, especially if it has this new controller. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. Let's go back to that. So you know how the Ouya came out, and one of the neat things about the Ouya is it only cost $100, and it had an online store set up. So it's like you log in, it's got a marketplace, you can download games, and people are even able to create games and share them. And a lot of the games were free. So I was thinking what we got to do in the future, what we could implement right away for the Intellivision Classic, is when you log into the Intellivision Classic store with your wireless controller, it has an online network cable in the back, and it's connecting to the Intellivision online network. So that's one thing we're noticing with the Amico. It's lacking an online store where you can just download stuff to a console. They did it a little bit with the cell phone, how you could get that demo for Moon Patrol played on your cell phone. But I was thinking if they had it on a classic system where you could already start going onto Amico store or Intellivision store and downloading new games. See, that's the thing I was thinking. People are already making new games for this Intellivision that work. Look at them. We have pictures of them. We have a whole list of Intellivision games that like the retro community is still making. So this is what I mean by a farm team. This is the farm team that could be making games, and these guys, whoever makes the best like farm team games, could get hired to make actual Amico games. Who knows? Maybe that's already happening. Because yeah, like look at all these games. There's a whole list of people that are still making games for the Intellivision. So that's what I was thinking. Add all these games to the marketplace for the new Intellivision Classic console. So the farm team console. And what I was thinking too, instead of just making like regular games for the Amico, maybe that's what they could do, is start making software you could make your own games. That is getting more and more popular. Oh yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Have the Intellivision store. This is the problem too. Let's get down to like the actual nitty gritty, what the problem is with Amico, why it's fucking everything up. It comes down to like the good old debate of communism. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of like communism and why people hated it and why people liked it. That's always wondered with communism, right? Like If it sucked so bad, everyone was dying and starving, why did some people actually like it? And one of the philosophies for communism was the property rights for things like software and stuff, you didn't have to oblige by. So that's why a lot of people were liking communism, is because they wanted to get software for free. So this is like the opposite to what the NFT system is. The NFT system is like the system where everyone's trying to make money and force people to buy it in copyrights, laws, courts. And then there's the opposite of that, which is the communist system, where all the software is just free. Everyone can download it for free. So I think what happened with the Intellivision and the Intellivision Amico is that there's a communist community. That's who these people are. The people that are making these games. I don't know if they're like actually profiting from it. They might get into trouble if they did that. Who knows, right? But this is the communist community. Just a free community, making their own games, taking the risk that they'll get sued, I bet. And they're fighting against the capitalist community, the Amico, where they're trying to sell these NFTs. So that's what I was thinking in the future, what we could do if we wanted to make a hybrid system. Not to call it like the worst thing, like socialism is kind of like a hybrid of capitalism and communism, I've heard. That's one thing, like Chinese patent laws, they're very like, apparently they're strict, but they just let a lot of it go because of the communist background. Pirate Bay is very much a communist system. I think that's the one thing that's the hurdle that's stopping the Amico, that's causing the lag even, is the system that they've designed to stop the pirating is causing the lag, because it's so hard to pirate the game, but it's also so hard to run it. Because I'm pretty sure if Tommy, one of his main goals when he made the Amico was to make sure that no one could ever get their hands on the ROMs. He's very anti-piracy, right? And rightfully so. People to create stuff don't want to get burned for it. But what I would say is we could see a hybrid of these two systems. And you know what it is? It's the YouTube Super Chat system, where people create stuff, post it, and then people make donations like Super Chats. And what we could do is do a marketplace where everyone has their list of games for sale. And when you download them, they're all free for this Intellivision Classic console. So there's like a huge list of just free games that you can download. But the catch is each game, when you load it, has a super chat button. So you can actually download a little, or just chip in a little super chat to the creators of the game every time you play it if you want. So it's like an optional super chat. And then where Intellivision, the company, can make money, same way YouTube makes the money, is they get a little bit of percentage of that super chat. And they could use that to like use the money to host the games so that everyone on this classic console can just have a big list of games, can all get for free. And the catch is their super chat. And then I was thinking too, and this way Intellivision could start working with these retro companies, is that they could start manufacturing the actual games or like licensing them. So it's like people will be like, hey, do you want to license a game for the actual Intellivision Classic? So then these could all be official. Because I don't know if any of these games really are official or not. I have a feeling that maybe Tommy doesn't like this page of games. I'm not sure or not. Who knows? Maybe he does. But how I would look at it is the farm team, right? If you got an Intellivision retro console, wireless, with people like a community programming and making their own games for it, selling and sharing them, Intellivision getting a share, and a lot of cases they're even free games where you just can super chat if you want. So that's what I was thinking. We could see a whole revolution of gaming in the future where people just make games, post them, and collect super chats as developers. So I was thinking, wouldn't that be a weird system where in the future, that's kind of how TV started, right? In the beginning, cameras were so expensive, only certain people could make TV shows because they're the only ones that could afford a camera. And then eventually cameras got cheaper. Then eventually they became digital. Then we got YouTube, so you can even broadcast. See, that even was a problem too. People couldn't even broadcast because you needed huge amounts of money. So that's what I was thinking. The future of gaming that Intellivision could be the first to jump on is just have a community of shared games for the retro community that has super chat buttons. So yeah, the people are just keep making their own games, maybe even making levels. Can you imagine people would make a level editor software, and within that game, each level you create has a super chat button. So it's like people like, holy shit, man, you made a good level. I'll give you a super chat, even though they're just a player within that game that created a level. See, that's where I was thinking, like YouTube became like the people's way of getting revenue from just making their own TV content. And now we could do it with gaming. Gaming has reached the point where regular people can create their own games and start collecting super chats out of it. And then these big companies that give us the hardware, they can collect a percentage. So that'd be totally cool if Tommy wanted to release a console like that. I don't know if anyone else would. All right, we got some more comments from the viewers. Let's bring it up. All right, so Warzard the Board Time Lord, he joined. He says that the Amico has some good ideas, but weird rules that are dumb. Yeah, you know what I was thinking? You know where those weird rules come from? I shouldn't make fun of it because vegans really do have the best intentions, but that's like a vegan philosophy, right? Like making extra restrictions, like having a restrictive diet about what you can eat. Like, can you eat vegetables only? That's pretty restrictive, right? So I don't know, like Tommy's gone out of his way to tell everyone that he works, or I don't know if he works for them or he's just like a spokesperson, or he encourages people to get involved with PETA. I know, like, I love animals too, but I'm one of those people that lived on a farm. So I realized, or my family had a farm. So I realized that like harvesting animals is a part of nature. It's like it happens in nature all the time. People have to do it too. That's why we have to be thankful for animals. Not try to pretend to live in some philosophy where we can live without causing any harm and then never be grateful to animal sacrifice. Like, I'm always grateful even when I eat a loaf of bread, because I realize that like mice and other animals get crushed by the machines when they harvest the bread, right? It's like there's always animals that are being sacrificed so we could live. So I kind of think a lot of those philosophies came over into the Amico, and that was kind of the thing where like we can make it more restrictive as a philosophy that people would like, because people like being restricted. Like, they like being restricted what they could eat if they're vegan, right? That's really what it comes down to. That's why I kind of wish that Tommy would just like eat a steak or two and then have a sit down at a plate of steak and then consider what he's doing here with the Amico. Like, I'm not even totally anti-Amigo or Amico. They could actually do it where it's two consoles. One that has tons of restrictions, the Amico, and then the one that has no restrictions, the Intellivision Classic 4, or whatever you want to call it. The fucking wireless online edition where the retro community is making new games and everyone who's playing them is giving a share of the super chats to Tommy, and then they can fund the Amico all they want. Hopefully use like some of the programmers, and like that's what I think. A lot of the retro community isn't helping Tommy with the Amico because they're pissed. They want a console with less restrictions. So why not do the farm team, where we have a farm team on this console with less restrictions, way less power, but still hooked up to a really cool online Amico network. So that's what I was thinking. Really, we have this issue in life on so many fronts. It's always opposite philosophies battling each other, the yin and the yang. You got the vegans versus the meat eaters. But in reality, it's a hybrid of the two that works best. We got capitalism and communism. And then some people think that a hybrid of the two works best. And then what else is it? You got political parties, the left wing and the right wing. A lot of people think a hybrid of the two works best. So that's where we kind of got to look at the Intellivision. We're a retro community and a new community. If we do a hybrid of the two, would it work best? Or just keep them separate, evolving around each other, where there's the retro community supporting the Intellivision community, the kick-ass new mini. That's what I was thinking. Like, if Tommy needed to get volunteers to all of a sudden build a new Intellivision retro with all these features, like an online network cable, even have 2-player online matches, That's what I realized. You know why Amico doesn't have online play? I didn't even realize it. Is because it's the vegan philosophy where they want it to be safe and restricted for kids. So what's one of the main flaws with online gaming is the ESRB rating goes out the window. Because as soon as you go online, people could yell, swear, anything, right? So that's why Amico can't have online gaming. Not because they're having trouble programming online matches. Like, that's the thing too. You know the Intellivision flashback? If it's running ROMs, like what is it called? What's that one really popular ROM set? It's called like Retro Wave or something like that. But anyways, this retro console system, it offers the firmware to run all these games, and it even offers 2-player online matches. And this is just like the online ROM community. So that's what I was thinking. If you put the online ROM community in charge of making the Intellivision classic and allowed them to hook it up online, they could get the 2-player matches going. So we could be playing the original Intellivision games versus each other on real hardware online. Why? Because this would be the one that's not restrictive. They can keep the Amico and offline all they want, but that's what I was thinking. Make this one online. That'd be so great. But anyways, let's see what else we got. Yeah, pretend. Now that's the thing. People said in the chat that I should go undercover and work for Tommy, but it's actually not even undercover. As I used to work for Tommy as a volunteer. I did volunteer work at his what is it called? Video Games Live presentation. So when he came to my city, I was one of the volunteers that was handing out flyers, and that's where I came into making my first Amico videos. Is I realized that when Tommy did the volunteer work for his Intellivision like Video Games Live, it tanked. Well, maybe it didn't tank in all the big cities, but the city that I'm from, it's basically saying that I did a horrible job. I admit it. I should have got more people into the venue. But when the show came on, there was like literally more people in the like on the show, like, you know, the symphony, than there was in the crowd. And I'm talking a huge theater that can fit like thousands of people. So the whole performance basically tanked revenue-wise, or at least maybe they sold tickets and people just didn't show up. I don't know. So that's where like red flags, when I was volunteering for Tommy, I started to see that a lot of shit with the volunteers was not going smoothly. So right away I was like, oh shit, the same thing is happening with Amico. It's like you start to see how someone ran an operation before. Not to make fun of it, but it is hard to organize volunteers, right? That's where I'm thinking Tommy really could use a farm team to try to help him. If he had a whole bunch of people that started making games for this, and they started like getting really good games made for a classic console, Tommy could look at it and be like, holy shit, look how much game revenue your classic console game made. Let's get you working on an Amico game, right? And then these people, like developers, would be more likely to start helping the Amico if they already made a whole bunch of money off their software on the classic, or the retro classic reimagined online. That's what I was thinking too. Like if they wanted to make an Intellivision classic like this with a wireless controller, network cable, HDMI hookup to an Intellivision store, they could do it for the Ouya price, because that's how much you could do it with the Ouya, right? And I don't know like how much these chips are, but I'm pretty sure the Ouya could easily run any Intellivision classic software, right? Like this is, it's got the HDMI hookups. It's got like enough. I like how it's really low power usage too. Like if someone's in like the off-grid home community, like that vegan style, it's like really low power usage. Yeah, I love the Ouya. I actually bought 3 of them. That's why I was thinking if the Intellivision all of a sudden had a new Intellivision classic that had online store and new games made by homebrew community, I'd buy 3 of them too. I'm not shitting on the Intellivision company. I actually love Intellivision. I just kind of hate the Amico. So, yeah, and just to give Tommy a shout out, kind of making fun of him in Video Games Live, but he did get inducted into the Hall of Fame recently for video games, so I'll give him a shout out for that. I'll try not to make fun of Tommy the whole episode again. I know last episode I was doing it, I think in sober October, so I get really cranky when I'm sober. So sorry about that last video if Tommy's watching. But he said that's an Italian thing, is sometimes Italians rip on each other. And I'm like totally covered in body hair, so maybe I'm part Italian. Way back. Alright, so now let's go to more comments from the viewers. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If the retro community was just given like licensing to start doing a really cool console like a classic, and they started making like all these things, we could even probably, with today's technology, start 3D printing some of it. I don't know if you could 3D print a card. Would it be too thin? But yeah, if you could 3D print the controller modules, that's what I was thinking too. Because people rip on the Intellivision controller. And I'll tell you what, which one did I have? Let me show you. I actually had the original. That's what it was. This is the original controller I had when I was a kid, because my family got an Intellivision used back when NES first came out. Because when NES first came out, people started getting rid of their Intellivisions, and that's when my family got one, because we're into hand-me-down video games. So that's why I'm kind of like, I was born in '79, but I played a lot of Intellivision. So anyways, yeah, the Intellivision controller, this part, the disc kept breaking, and it was hardwired into the console. So once your controller broke, you needed a new console. So eventually they made it a wireless version, or no, a plug-in version. That's what it was. So they have like a plug-in version. So I was thinking if they keep this trend going, make module versions. So people could actually make an Intellivision regular style controller module, 3D print it, and have the guts to Intellivision. So that'd be so sick. Like, can you imagine like a video game company that allowed people to design their own controllers, 3D print them, and then just drop the modules in? Because you got to admit, some of these module parts are pretty cool. They're just not really laid out the greatest. Like, I haven't actually tried an Intellivision controller since I was a kid, so maybe I'll hate it a lot worse. But I actually love the number pad and the discs, or the cards that went in. So if we can start 3D printing any parts of it, that'd be really cool. And look how the company just kept making better and better consoles. That's what I was thinking. Like, Intellivision had such a good thing going. Like, I would stay with the graphics. I would stay with everything. Stay with the controllers. Stay with the cards. Just add online. Add HDMI. Add a store so that you could start downloading games. Start getting the fucking shit going again. Yeah, I don't know, like, the licensing that Intellivision has for some of their games too. I just love the licensing, so really they have so much potential. That's why people are ripping on the Amico, saying it's horrible. I think it does need a lot of work, and hopefully a good classic console could get a whole bunch of retro community just generating tons of revenue, so that Tommy doesn't have to kickstart so much. This would kind of be like an alternative Kickstarter campaign for the Amico. Be like, do the classic Kickstarter. Alright, let's get some more comments from the viewers. Alright, Teddy says that he's willing to bet once it comes out. Now that's a big question. I don't know, a lot of people covered it. I think even Pat and Ian covered it. They never gave a new release date. So now if it comes out ever is a pretty big question. Because I'm pretty sure Amico needs a lot of money to keep going. So that's why I was like, man, we got to start giving Tommy some ideas to generate more revenue. Because I don't really know how much you can keep kickstarting before you have to, or crowdfunding, or whatever you want to call it, investing. Get a product out there. Get a store open. Get the community making and selling games. Get the super chats rolling. Get people streaming, playing your games. Right? Like, dear God, if you had this classic console out with a new controller that's wireless, oh, fuck, man. Yeah, you could even pimp it out with a bit of LED lights, right? Like, maybe put LED lights under these if he's really into LEDs, so that when you press the buttons, they would light up or something. That'd be kind of neat. But don't go too crazy modifying it. I like so much of what it actually was originally. That's what a lot of people are saying. The Intellivision actually was a decent console. Like it had the graphic capabilities to even make Mario, I think. Or no, it was Donkey Kong. There was a couple good games. Zelda. I think they even made a Zelda on it. Alright, so let's get some more comments. Alright, once it comes out, it gets cracked open. The guts are going to be pretty similar to Android boxes. Yeah, see, that's what I made in my first video, is I talked about that. They openly admitted right off the bat that the Amico was basically going to be cell phone technology. That's what I was thinking. The one thing that kind of pisses me off with the Amico is look at the controller itself. When you look at the controller, it's basically two cell phones. So I was thinking, why did they take out the cell phone feature? If I was in charge of Amico, one of the first features I would do is make it an actual cell phone. So you can actually put your, like, what is it called, your SIM card or whatever, right into the controller. So that you could use it as a cell phone if you wanted. I'm not sure why they're trying to sell two cell phone controllers and not make it cell phone compatible. Like, that's basically what the console is. It's an Android box streaming to your TV, right? Like, he's already admitted it, like, maybe not directly, but when they released the specs, it was in my first video, like way back, I was already saying, like, look guys, it's an Android box. Almost the exact same as Ouya in a lot of ways. And not to shit on Ouya, because I actually like Ouya. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about Ouya. Remember how Ouya launched with its own store so that you could like have a home page, download games and stuff? And then the company got bought out and they shut the store down. Guess what happened? The retro community built another storefront and made a patch. So people could just sideload the patch into their Ouya. Now they're connected to a fan-made retro community store. So technically the Ouya already is, right now, at its current form, what I think the Intellivision could adapt with its retro console and just take what's working and continue to use it, but use it officially. Because right now, this is like an underground type of a console right now. If you log into the Ouya marketplace, all the games on there, I think it's underground, right? There's no official licensing for any of it. I don't know if you can buy the games on that marketplace. I'll have to hook up my Ouya and find out. I haven't used it in quite a few years, but I still have it in my entertainment system. I even hooked up my PS3 controllers to work with it. It works really better because people bitch about the controller for Ouya not working, but you could just sync any controller to it. So it doesn't matter if it's Ouya controllers. And I got shitloads of PlayStation controllers laying around, so I could just use those. Yeah, and then people were actually very supportive of the idea of like a crowd-funded, like almost communist console. Like Ouya was super popular with fans, but there was some like weird fucking anti-Ouya campaign that started. Like people kicked it out of the E3 presentation, and then they started shitting on the controller. But when you look at the controller lag that Ouya had, it was really just ahead of its time. Because even all the modern consoles, they have the same lag now. So they finally caught up to what Ouya was doing. Sorry, I had to. Alright, let's go back to... Alright, so you have to ask yourself... Oh wait, here what it was. Yeah, it's going to be similar to... Yeah, that's what we just read. If the Amico... If the Amico... was done like he said it, Tommy would have sent more demo units to YouTubers by review units. Yeah, that's what I was kind of really skeptical of. Teddy brings up a good point. Is Tommy, when he used to do Electric Playground, was like talking to video game developers, even console developers, like, hey guys, do you want us to like cover every step of the way? We could like make it into like a documentary of how your console's being made. We can come into your place and give you up-to-date, like, updates of what's happening each week. And I think I noticed it, like, when I was watching the Intellivision, like, employee coverage. Not to make fun of him, but that guy with the big mustache. Even when they were filming him, he always looked like he was pretending to work, right? It's like, not to make fun of him, but, like, you could almost tell, like, there wasn't a lot being done. And I don't know if he's the one in charge of how much is getting done, but holy, someone's really lagging, right? Maybe he has nothing to do with it. I do like his mustache. Kind of reminds me of, who is it, Mario? But yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, oh yeah, what were we getting to? Yeah, why did they didn't get more review units out? I think what happened is Tommy got together a lot of volunteers. He got together a few experts. And a lot of people just sort of sat back and said, okay, it's not my job to get this shit together. Let's just see how it pans out. So you had a whole bunch of people that were just sort of like, all right, hope everyone's doing their thing to get it together. But a lot of the communication was breaking down. So that's why I think what happened is Tommy realized, like, even when he went to Victor and talked about the how the Amico was going, it was very basic, and he didn't really have many updates other than what he told everyone else. And Victor was kind of like, hey, do you want us to, like, cover how things are going each week? And Tommy's like, no, maybe every 6 months, every year, because there's not really going to be much in the way of updates. That's why I kind of got the impression. So I don't know, they really should have had, like, a set timeline of when each thing should have been done. A lot of people brought up good points, like even Pat and Ian, is a lot of the things weren't ready, like even the software. So to say that the chips and stuff are holding back the release, technically you could release a Amico game on a cell phone, on an app store, and people could start playing the games already and start generating revenue for the company. So obviously there's something wrong where they can't even get 1 or 2 games out, right? Like, what games can we buy from Intellivision Play Store, even on, like, the Apple Play Store or Google Play Store, other than just that demo for Moon Patrol? Not to make fun of Moon Patrol. That demo was kind of neat. I can't remember if I downloaded it. I might have. Alright, so let's go back to more stuff from the viewers. Yeah, so that's why he doesn't have the console out, is because a lot of people didn't get their jobs done. And I think when that happens is when you get a lot of volunteers working, and it's hard to organize volunteers. That's why I was thinking the farm team, like to get this retro console done, like the retro Intellivision, that would create like a working farm team environment. So you could say, hey, look at our farm team. They're doing this right. They're doing that right. All these community volunteers, they're organizing it, getting it launched. Products are working, software is working, operating systems are working. Let's work with them and try to like get some advice from the farm team. That's why I think Amico lacks the farm team, is because a lot of people that could be the farm team are more into the retro stuff. So because there's that separation where they're not into the Amico, that they don't really want to give all their time and effort to help. So that's what I was thinking. The retro community, if they had some more incentive, like I know getting some Intellivision or what is it, Video Games Live content, like free downloads, that's neat and all. But I'm pretty sure what everyone else would like would be an actual new retro console. So we can just start improving the Intellivision community, because it's already still booming. Like we saw, there's people still making Intellivision games. There's people that are making the cards. They're making the cartridges. This is what the retro community wants. We don't want fucking tickets or downloads from Video Games Live. I wouldn't mind some tickets to Video Games Live, but I probably won't be allowed in anywhere because I haven't had the experimental procedures yet. Hopefully. I'm thinking of getting them after like a good year or 2 of safety trials. People don't all get cancer. I'll be like saying, hey, let's try it. Hey, someone just liked the comment on my thing from Papa Pete. So maybe I'll mention... I should have gave a shout out to Papa Pete in the credits. I forgot. Let's get out of there. Nah, sorry, I like to troll a bit on Facebook. I get carried away with trolling. Oh, got another call. Could be family. Oh, it is. Alright, so I'll have to check it quick. I'll be right back. Hello? I would, but the price is a bit high. I can probably get it online. Yeah, 20 is a bit high. Usually between 5 and 10 I would go for. Alright, right. Wow, okay. Alright, talk to you later. Bye. No. Sure. I'm just recording, so anytime. Alright, bye. Yeah, sorry. Got a lead on some PS4 games. They wanted $20 each for them. I was like, $20 at a yard sale for PS4 games. Should really go for maybe 5 to 10 as a cap, unless it's a really good game, right? Yeah, because I don't know the online or Kijiji prices for used games. Like before the whole world situation happened, I was able to get a Switch like on my local Kijiji ads for like $100 or $200. That's how low Switch had gotten. I wish I would have bought a whole bunch of them up. People are saying that they just didn't play them as much. Like they bought their Switches and then just never used it. Oh, there it is, the Astro Smash card. Just like the original one that I actually have. Isn't that funny? Which theirs says 1981, printed in USA. Mine says 1981 USA also. Except mine's black and dark blue. Kind of neat. Alright, so let's get to some more viewer questions. Alright, yeah, have you asked yourself why does he have the controlled environments and well, he only lets people that are investors play it? I think that's what it is I noticed same thing when you become a YouTube creator. Once money gets involved, it starts corrupting you. Even if you don't want it to, you're like, oh, fuck, man, there's a lot of money involved now. Got to start behaving differently. I know Tommy was telling me, too, when I was talking to him in the chats on YouTube during a live stream. He has his, like, Intellivision CEO Tommy and the old classic Tommy from Electric Playground. He is really two different people when it comes to how he can behave working for the company and how he is like in real life. So yeah, now he's reached the point where so many people have invested money that he's like trying to hide stuff because he's like, oh fuck man, I don't want to let everyone down. That's why I feel bad for him. He does look stressed out these days. I'm like, holy shit, man. The Amico is like a many-year project of like constant stress. And that much stress for that much time, even no matter what the project is bound to get to people. So that's how I was thinking this Amico farm team or Intellivision farm team doing a whole console, helping Tommy make some profits. Like he could probably use like a whole community of retro people buying and selling games on Intellivision community and him getting cuts of it. Because that'd be like, hey, investors, look, our company actually has revenue coming in from software sales. We have all these developers that are actually finishing games. So I think that would help a lot. Even if it is just the farm team finishing games, you'd be like, look at our farm team. It's like doing amazing. That's kind of like when you look at a franchise of sports in real life. If they get a good team that makes it to the finals, it's usually because they have a kick-ass farm team. Like their farm team's been winning for like the past decade. They got all these great players getting called up. That's when you start getting like a good team. So that's what I was thinking in Intellivision. If they had a kick-ass fucking retro farm team and just pooling that into the Amico, it could even fix the Amico. I know people could say that you could never fix the Amico, but I'm pretty sure that would. If you had like that good of a farm team just working at the company, volunteering because they love doing the retro stuff, and they're actually getting some cartridges made, some cards made. So that's what I was thinking too. If Tommy went this route where he added a farm team to the Intellivision and got all this retro shit going, you know who would cover and completely change their opinion about the Intellivision company? Pretty sure Pat and Ian, because they're huge into the fucking retro shit, right? So if they're like, holy, look at Tommy. He all of a sudden had a change of heart. He's making a console for gamers that's like a farm team to help the Amico get better. It's like this farm team idea. They'd be like, whoa, this could be it, right? Like I know it'd be hard to convince Tom or Pat and Ian at this point, but I think this could. Because they'd be so into the retro part of it. They'd be like, what? You can make the cards? You can actually get the cartridges? People could start like playing on better controllers that are wireless. I know Pat and Ian would still shit on the Intellivision controller because they never liked the original, but I liked the original. So I was like, yeah, I think I would still like it. Oh yeah, you know what would be funny too? If Tommy did this retro thing as like a farm team and it succeeded to the point where he could raise enough money and buy the rights to the Coleco and then fix the Coleco. Do the same farm team design to the Coleco, because I'm sure a lot of people were pissed that the Coleco didn't succeed. So if he could fix this problem with the Intellivision company, maybe he could even expand and get the Coleco going. Because you look at this other page, it seems like the Intellivision, Coleco, and Commodore community, they have a lot in common. So yeah, if Tommy wanted to expand, like if anyone's worried that Tommy can't be like reasonable and like come through with maybe some changes, get things worked out for the better, like if investors are worried, I would say look at Tommy and how he reacted to, what is it, Roblox. Sure, Roblox, when the oof sound thing all came out, it went shit at first, but in the end, they actually came to a compromise and things kind of worked out. So I was thinking, I don't know, I heard some other weird stuff that another guy's taking claims for making the oof sound, and he's not Tommy, but I don't know. I started looking into it, and it's weird. It's like Tommy isn't really in the credits anywhere for the oof sound. It is another guy, but if anyone has the details about that, they can put it in the chat. But either way, Tommy has shown that he can compromise. So who knows? Maybe his compromise will go so far that he even starts working with the ColecoVision, gets that whole project back on track. Buy the company and finish it. It's like one of those projects I think everyone wanted the Coleco to finish. It was a piss off when it never finished. So if the Intellivision can get a good retro community going, fuck man, there's hope for Coleco. Alright, so you have to ask yourself, the fact that you've seen video games live, would you say the video games live free gift is worth $200? See, that's a weird thing about when I saw video games live. Yeah, back when I seen the original video games live, Tommy had like a promotion company in charge of like getting the place packed. Guess what happened? Place sold out. And the video games live, the first show that I went to, it was fucking amazing. Like it was literally like the best show I've ever seen. So then came the second video games live, the one that I volunteered to help, the one that bombed. Not only did the place not sell out, but the show had also gone down the tubes. Like I did not like it even half as much as the first one. A lot changed. So would I think that the $200 worth of video games live stuff is worth it? Depending which era it's from. If it's from the era when video games live first came out, it was really good then. Maybe it'd be worth it then. But other than that, I would say probably not if it's the new stuff. And I was wondering too, did it have to do something with licensing? Because I'm pretty sure when video games live first came out, maybe they're a little bit more relaxed with licensing. And then as stuff progressed into modern times, it's harder to play other companies' music and sell it. I don't know. Unless you had all the licensing the whole time. Who knows? No, if I was like for real, if I was in Tommy and I wanted to do the gift, what I would have did as the gift to all the backers would have been like, hey guys, you know how a lot of you are retro community people and love the Intellivision? Let's get this Intellivision retro project going. Let's take the original console, same graphics chips and everything, run an emulator in it, add network features, add HDMI, add a wireless controller, but keep everything else the same. And add 2-player online. Add super chats so people can start creating games and Intellivision making revenue, fans and creators making revenue. Because can you imagine as a game designer, you're like, hey man, this super chat idea by Intellivision is amazing. So all of a sudden you get all these retro community game people making games, getting super chats. And then they'd be like, holy fuck, right? Alright, keep losing track of the chat because there's so much in here. But I appreciate all the chat, everyone. Have you heard of PiePacker? It's a game streaming service, but they're making retro consoles that you can play your cartridge games online. Yeah, that's what I noticed. A lot of the ROM sets, a lot of them come with features now where you can play online 2-player matches. So that's what I was thinking. If Tommy's having problems getting stuff working online, the retro community on this farm system, they could get it hooked up online with 2-player matches, no problem. There's already people doing it. So yeah, so that is a good point. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, that'd be the coolest feature is if this console, the retro one, had an actual cartridge slot. So you could just like buy like your old Intellivision cartridges from flea markets, garage sales, and then bring them home, pop them in the console, and then start playing online matches because it's running ROM software that's able to hook up online and start playing. So I was thinking, like, really, wouldn't it be neat if Intellivision gave everyone the technology to make their cartridges? Like, you could order them from Intellivision. They would give you your own batch of cartridges. So you could give them out to family members and friends. You could be like, hey, guys, why don't you try the Intellivision game I made? Here's a console. You can even play it on it. If you want to make your own games and share them with me, put them on the store, and I'll give you a super chat. I don't know. That's what I noticed. Like, game design is getting so amazing. Like, even the engines to make games are getting easier and easier and easier. So it's getting to the point, like modern games, people take 3D cameras, scan their backyard, go onto their computer, add their backyard as a 3D element, and then they have a level. Now they can make a 3D person shooter where they're running around in their own backyard. Fucking game they made at home. It's like I'm starting to wonder, like, really, that is the future of gaming. Game creators, the same way that regular people can make TV and put it on YouTube, same thing's going to happen for gamers. Regular gamers are going to start making games more and more. And we'll start getting revenue out of it. It'll be like a whole new economy. Anyways. Alright, so yeah, have you heard of PiePacker? No, I'll have to check out that PiePacker, but yeah, I do like that idea, playing your old cartridges online. Because imagine how cool that'd be for like collectors too. All of a sudden the old Intellivision cartridges would spike up in value, because you'd be like, oh shit, you can buy them and play them online now. And there is a market for that, right? Like, people make retro consoles that can play the original discs, the original cartridges. People like that kind of thing. And I think Tommy might be able to be convinced to do it. Because really, that's been the problem with it, is you never have the company's authority, like licensing. But we're talking to Tommy here, so if we could convince him, he should be in charge of the company and be able to do all the licensing, get it all worked out. Like, I think that part of it he could manage. I know the rest, he probably needs a lot of help still, but who wouldn't? Alright, so let's see. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. The farm team could help legitimize a lot of the company. Because right now, there's been so many problems and no successes that you're like, holy fuck, what the hell's wrong, right? So if you had a farm team that was like pumping out products, showing that software is getting completed, investors would be like, holy fuck, this company's not so bad. Look at this farm team. They're just killing it, right? So then, yeah, then Tommy could be like, oh man, shit's not going so well with Amico. Let's look how the farm team's doing it. Oh, look at how they're doing this. Yeah, they got all this revenue pouring in. Look at these developers. They're loving the open concept of the Intellivision, making like Zelda clones. Yeah, can you imagine we started getting a lot of cool RPGs coming out for the Intellivision? Like, I used to love Utopia. If Utopia 2 started to get made by like the retro community, that'd be sick. That was actually the first game I ever binge played. When I got into Utopia, I was like 8-hour sessions, easy. Couldn't stop playing it. That's when I realized I had a problem. It all went downhill from there. I'm just kidding. All right. Yeah, because, yeah, the way without the farm team, it'd be kind of the same thing if you had a sports team. And you're like, look at our team. It just fucking sucks. And they're like, well, how good's your farm team? They're like, oh, we don't even have a farm team. They're like, oh, God, your team sucks and you don't have a farm team? Like, holy shit. At least when you add the farm team, they're like, oh, at least you got some potential. There's a lot of shit that's brewing that's really good. Now, that's what I was thinking, too. Tommy's at the point where he probably has to, like, tell a lot of white lies or fibs or bending the truth. Just because he has so many friends and family that are probably invested in, like, oh, God, can't let them all down, right? It's like he is a human after all, right? It's like he has emotions. Yeah, it would be such a horrible situation. Like, oh, God, I'm failing. What do I tell them? Unless he is doing really good and the failure is just like a manufactured gimmick to try to help drive sales. All right, so we got a new comment here from F1JV. He should have just made reimagined for other systems. Yeah, that's what the one thing I was looking at. Like when he said that he was reimagining Pong for the Intellivision Amico, I was like, holy shit, reimagine Pong for PlayStation 1 is like one of my favorite games ever. So I was like, holy shit, if he can beat the game for PlayStation 1, I'll be hands down sold. Or even if he could tie it, because that was a really good game. And then I looked at his version of Pong, I was like, oh fuck. The game that he has for Amico is not only not better than the PlayStation 1 version, it's a little bit less. So I was like, oh fuck. I don't really want to buy a version of Pong that's not as good as the one. But to his defense, it was just a demo. So maybe it was going to get souped up and even match the one for PlayStation 1. Now that's the thing too. We are in the age now where we've reached the point where people are asking themselves, why not just release a game on another console that already exists? We already have PlayStation, we already have Xbox, we already have Nintendo. And really what it comes down to is what hardware, like actual controllers, do you like the best? Sadly, I just cleaned my room and moved all my controllers away. But anyways, yeah, and not only the hardware, but also the licensing. So that's what I was thinking when it comes down to the licensing and how to make money off selling your game. That's really what it comes down to. Which company would you want to port your game to, or because it will make you the most money or it won't have the most restrictions. So that's what I was kind of wondering with the Amico. That is one of the problems with porting it to it, is it has so many restrictions. And that's the one thing they could do with the opposite, with the farm team, have no restrictions, or the least amount of restrictions as possible, so that people literally could easily make their own games and have them for sale on this homebrew network. That would be the advantage. It'd be like, holy shit, I can make revenue legally on a fully licensed console with these super chats just by making retro games and posting them on the Intellivision Retro Community Store that you can connect to with a HDMI cable in the back, right? That's why I would say the Intellivision Retro console would have an edge. It would give people the fully licensed way to make money. And I'm talking like maybe like these retro guys that are making really good games like Gorf and stuff, or these other ones, Goonif. Yeah, I like how the Intellivision made those boxes, the new ones, but I hated how they're empty boxes, or who knows what's in them. But if I had to guess, they're empty boxes. So that's what I was thinking, like, yeah, that's pretty much like the retro community started making these. Like, look at even these cards. Like, I would like to collect just the cards. They're so cool. Alright, so yeah, where did I get off track here? Yeah, the bullcrap Imagine games. Why just not release it for other consoles? And that was the thing too. The Intellivision, what made it unique was these cards. Like, I don't know, as a kid, I love collecting these cards. I even still have some. I wish I never threw them all out. What happened was I got the NES and I started liking it better. So I'm like, all right, kick the old shit to the curb. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. The Intellivision name, people make fun of it and say that there's not many gamers that still remember it. But I just think of myself, right? Like, I'm a mid-40s gamer, and I played Intellivision a lot. Like, it was one of my favorite consoles. And there was millions of cartridges that sold. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's still a few people that would be hands down. Like, especially the 40-year-old age bracket. A lot of us didn't have kids, or if we did, they're already grown up. So a lot of us have more disposable income at this age bracket. So if you had a whole bunch of people my age pumping money into a retro console so we could start getting posters, manuals, cartridges, everything being made and collected again. Like, I think a lot of these could even become rare collectibles. Like, which would you rather collect? Seriously. Would you rather collect cards, boxes, cartridges, or these NFT files? Like, I don't know, these NFT files might look cool on a screen and all, but I'd rather hold tangible objects, right? It's kind of like the difference of a girlfriend and not, right? Too far. Sorry. Yeah, so if anyone's wondering about the free speculation, did I think it was worth it? Depends, depending which version of Video Games Live. If it was some of the original, like I heard the Mario song played on the piano. There was dueling Guitar Hero battles. Oh, those were good. Yeah, so it really depends which one. Would I have rather a free T-shirt? Hell yeah. Especially some of these Intellivision shirts. Like I don't want to do a whole episode just shitting on Intellivision. A lot of the stuff that in their store, I like it just because a lot of it's retro. So let's see, what do we got in the shop again? Yeah, like I'm loving that Star Strike shirt. It's like I have the game box. I should really buy the shirt. That'd be sick. Oh, there's the poker. I actually did play this game. I had the poker version. It was a decent game. Was no Poker Stars, but for the age. Yeah, imagine you were playing this online. Yeah, I like the mustache the guy has. Reminds me of that other guy that's working on the controller. Now, I was trying to cut the guy some slack. I know working on the Intellivision controller is probably a rough go because you don't want to let Tommy down too. I'd hate to work for Tommy because he'd be like a god to me, so I wouldn't want to let him down either. I'd be like, sorry, Tommy, I can't tell you that this controller just isn't going to work. Alright, so let's see. He should have just reimagined games for other systems. Oh yeah, Mattel's one console from the 1980s just doesn't have the base to run before you could walk. Yeah. Oh yeah, Tommy's company needs some cash flow coming in because he's got all these employees, all these huge cool offices, and no products other than like t-shirts for sale, right? He should have started out smaller, had multiple revenue streams, and then years later made his own console. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if he started this farm team console where he actually had like a Intellivision Classic going, this would be like a good baby step, right? You could get the hang of running a console, get the hang of having an online marketplace that's actually functioning and making revenue. Then you could be like, all right, now let's expand to the Amico and have a console with better graphics and maybe connecting to the same store. Because that way the store would already be up and running, right? You'd be like, all right, our Amico store, our Intellivision network is already online. It already has sales and transactions going through the retro community. They're buying and reselling games like Gorf and Goonif. No, big shout out to Papa Pete for sharing this content with me. I was thinking, dear God, like, yeah, these retro games that are still being made for Intellivision, it's a perfect farm team. So yeah, like hopefully maybe Tommy will consider the idea for a farm team to help the Intellivision get like a kickstart, get some revenue going in. Because dear God, like I swear to God, if they came out with a new Intellivision with the original controller, just wireless, HDMI cord in the back, network cord, hooked up to Intellivision network so I can download these retro games. Well, that'd be the thing too. If you downloaded the retro game, maybe they could send you a file so that you could print the card and put it in. I don't know. Does anyone think printer technology has evolved to the point where someone could sell blank card packs and then you could just print whatever game you wanted onto it? That'd be sweet. Or even reusable cards so you could reprint on over and over. Yeah, that'd be a sick idea for an Intellivision attachment, eh? The company could release a card printer so that you could buy refill packs and then print your own cards and make it sort of vegan where you can reuse the same cards. So when the ink wears out, you can just reprint it on it. Because I don't want to shit on veganism either. I know a lot of my friends and family are vegan. They hate it when I make fun of it. I just feel so bad when I see their health break down from eating too many plants. But I eat too much meat. My health breaks down from that, so nobody's perfect, right? I got blood coming out of places it shouldn't be. I shouldn't make fun of that. I still got more tests to go do. All right, let's see. All right, yeah, it looks like some family's home. I'm going to have to go carry my uncle to the washroom. So, well, yeah, someone just made Castlevania for the Intellivision. That's what I mean. There basically is a farm team already working for Intellivision, but they're underground, doing it unofficially. So yeah, like get this farm team more organized. Instead of like fighting people that make retro games and selling them, why not work with them? Sort of do the Roblox, work out some sort of compromise, Tommy's like, hey, let's make a compromise with the retro community. Let's get a retro console going that's kick-ass, best retro. That's what I was thinking. If Tommy did this as a retro console, people would probably debate if it's the best retro console ever made. Like if you had an online network, you were able to put in actual old cartridges, people would be like, holy fuck, Intellivision's just killing the retro scene, right? And then they'd be like, hey, let's give the Amico a little bit more slack because holy, they're just killing the retro. That's what I think. If anyone could master the retro community console, like a sweet fucking Intellivision classic, would be Tommy. Like, he knows the old games. He should be able to, like, hey guys, he probably has like a million friends that can do retro shit really good. Especially the ROMs. He probably has like guys that wrote ROM engines. He probably knows half of them. So yeah, so I was thinking, like, get these ROMs going on the fucking Intellivision classic. Make a cartridge drive. You can plop them right in. Make a SD thing so you could even like put in ROMs and make it easy to pirate, even though you shouldn't if you actually own the cartridges. So that way people that feel slighted, that have the old cartridges that don't work, they could put the old cartridge in and then just load the ROM. I know that would be like a big thing for the retro community's trust if Tommy did that and made it easy to put ROMs on, but also made it easy to make money by like doing super chats through game creation. So that'd be like a half and half. He's like, hey guys, I'm still capitalist, but I'm going to bend to these communist demands just a little bit. Do some sort of hybrid system. Yeah, Castlevania, that was one of my favorite games. For what console did I play it? I played it for the original NES. That's it. And that's the one thing too, like I know a lot of the people that love Intellivision and want to support the Amico are disappointed with these NFT, like Ethereum or Bitcoin type system for games. If that's what's creating the lag, I just want to speculate. I don't know for sure that that's creating the lag. If we could get some sort of Amico system set up by Intellivision where we get like fully licensed 3D prints, so you can have that Intellivision Running Man and print him, that'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be cool too if like the Intellivision community had a forum where people were printing their own copies and be like, hey, if anyone doesn't have a 3D printer, Tommy is authorizing people to buy and resell their own prints on our network for a small commission. That'd be sweet, right? So then you'd be like, have this giant network of all these people printing Intellivision merch. They'd be like, hey guys, I can print it for you for this much. And someone would be like, oh, I've got some cheaper plastic. I can print it for this much. Create some fucking wicked revenue stream where Intellivision is seemingly allowing everyone to do shit for free, but with just small commissions. That's the trick, right? Like, what did eBay manage to do is they allowed people to buy and sell stuff for free, but with just tiny commissions. So that's where I was thinking a lot of the stuff with the Amico is too much, like, not enough people creating and making money themselves and then giving commission. It's more of just money going to Amico and the gamers and the creators not getting much, right? That's the problem. It's people are thinking for themselves, right? They want what's best for them. They want some sort of revenue for coming in to helping the Amico community. I don't know how many volunteers Tommy can get before a lot of people are like, hey, it's a lot of fucking work, right? Like, we got to get some more shit. All right, so yeah, thanks everyone for being in the chat today. Let's give a shout out to everyone. We'll put it back on the Intellivision screen. All right, so Omar, thanks again. Teddy Dodgy, Warzard the Board Time Lord, Teddy Dodgy, F1 JV, and Warzard. So a big shout of applause. All right, and yeah, let's go to the patrons list. So thanks everyone. Helps my channel keep going. Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, Travis, everyone else a patron. Really appreciate it. And let's check out my affiliate links page. All right, my affiliate links are ways that I try to help my viewers and myself at the same time. Patreon and Society 6. I got my saying, finishing quick is my specialty. Comes on t-shirts and bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. God, this camera makes my finger look like E.T. No, ladies, my fingers are not that long. Don't get your hopes up. Anyways, Hido TV. It'll pay you to watch videos. So that's what I was thinking. If Amico and the Intellivision store community, like say, that's the one problem with the Intellivision store. If you have it for the Amico, it's got to be all kid friendly. But if you had an Intellivision store that was for the Intellivision Classic, the console we were talking about releasing for fans, you could have ad revenue from watching commercials. So Intellivision could have their own like YouTube page, have like revenue coming in from commercials. People are like, oh God, I'll advertise my games on the Intellivision gaming network. So people watch those ads, they could get little tokens. It'll give them points so that they could download more Intellivision games or give those points away as super chats. Yeah, that'd be sick. So that way people could generate revenue to give out super chats that are broke. Be like, oh fuck, I'm broke. I can never super chat a game. Or I could watch the videos that are being played through the Amico network and get a couple points added. I think that'd be a wonderful revenue system. Anyway, so Swagbucks, it'll pay you to shop online. That's what I was thinking too. Maybe, yeah, do some sort of Intellivision system for that, where when you shop on the Intellivision store, you collect points. Probably already have that. All right, GameKit, it'll pay you to try games. So that's one system I was thinking that obviously won't work for the Amico because it's so family friendly and restricted. But if you had a gaming console that was like this open source, like everyone making games, you could have a section on the console where people are actually looking to pay people to play the game. So it'd be like, hey, if you try my game, I'll give you 5 Amico points. So then those points could be later used to help do super chats or whatever. And people would wonder, like, why would you pay someone to try your game? It's actually GameKit realized that if you give players like even tiny incentives like to play the game, half the time they'll like the game, share it, or start streaming it or making in-game purchases. So that's one thing I was thinking. The Intellivision network for Amico doesn't have in-game purchases, but if you wanted to do it with the unlocked Everything Goes Intellivision Classic and have some sort of in-game purchases, so people literally could pay you to try games because they'd have revenue coming in from in-game purchases. So that's another reason why game companies do it. They're like, hey, we'll pay you $10 to try our game if you make it to level 20. And then by the time people make it to level 20, they love the game so much, they buy a skin. And they spend like $15, $20, or they buy a new ammo pack or whatever it is. I don't think like in-game purchases necessarily are a bad idea unless they break the game mechanics, like weapons that make you super powerful or something. I think adding in-game skins and stuff isn't such a bad idea. So just my point on that. You could pay people to play games on this new Intellivision. Imagine that. You're like, I'll buy the Intellivision Classic. I can make games, get super chats. I can play other people's games, get paid points to try those games, and then give it to other people. It'd be like a fucking huge ass network. Right, so and free Bitcoin is a wallet system for crypto. I know Tommy with this whole NFT thing, it's kind of like creating its own cryptocurrency for Amico. So I don't think he's totally against the crypto ideas, and that's kind of neat. Neither am I. But yeah, if you want to check out BetFury and free Bitcoin, it's different wallet systems that you can use for crypto. And just keep in mind that all these offers have regional laws that you got to follow, including the virtual mate sex machine. It's for adults and men only. But if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. Just kidding. No, but if you need $10 off on a purchase of $150 or more, then just make sure to use the offer LYNBSN. Yes, that is correct. LYNBSN. LYNBSN. No, I'm trying not to push too much Lion BS, but when I got the coupon code from Virtual Mate, maybe they watched the show. No, I appreciate they do help me out with the referral points for that, so it's really awesome. I don't make any money off Intellivision Amico. I have not invested. I actually went to the investor page and tried to invest and was blocked in my province. So I was not allowed to invest in my province. So sorry, Tommy, I wasn't able to invest. I was thinking of dropping like 1,000 or 2 because I still think the Amico has potential. Like really, if you take games, just get cell phone gamers playing games on their TV and networking between people sitting next to you. I think that's a neat idea in principle. Alright, so let's get back to the Intellivision screen. Holy, that was so many offers. But I figured I would mention the offers because I was like, a lot of those offers are ways that I like to make money. That's why I shared it to my viewers. I'm like, hey guys, if you want to try to make money the way I do. That's what I was thinking. There's potential to make money as a gamer these days. You don't even have to be a game music maker. You don't have to be a programmer. You could just be a level designer who happens to get a software from Intellivision, start making their own levels, and then winning super chats from the people that play your levels and like it. Wouldn't that be neat too? If you could create your own levels, post them onto the Intellivision network, and then live stream yourself playing your level to advertise it. Like, hey everyone, check out this level. Look how cool it is. If you like it, you can play me online, or you can even super chat it while we're playing it. That'd be a fucking wicked system. Yeah, so a big shout out to Tommy, and sorry that the release date didn't work out. I know the original one he had planned for his sister who passed, and yeah, that is a pretty good cause, and yeah, let's hope we can do her memory right and get this Amico going, and hopefully the farm team idea, some people like it, others don't, I'm sure, but hey, I'm just trying to pool my ideas. I've been thinking as many things as I can to try to help the Amico. I was thinking the only thing I could really think of that I would do differently is the whole Dreamcast controller idea, is maybe make an Amico controller with these modules that could drop an Intellivision cell phone right into it. So then you're using a controller with a cell phone in it. But you could take the cell phone out and then just carry it around with you as a cell phone and actually use it as a cell phone with the... Can you imagine that was one of Intellivision's big updates? So like, hey guys, you know how our controller looks like a cell phone? Well, now it is one. You can drop your fucking, what is it, those SIM cards right into it. Now you can make Intellivision your cell phone provider. That'd be fucking wild. I think that might be going a little bit over the top because we've seen other companies try it, like the N-Gage and stuff, but who knows? Like, if anyone can pull that off, if they want the Amico to really be that resembling a cell phone, why not go the whole extra mile? Make it an actual cell phone. No, and some people did bring up a good point, is another reason they got rid of the cornhole game, I think, with the swing mechanic, is because it is compatible with cell phones, they were saying, but that'd be a horrible legal issue, right? Because how would you strap your cell phone to your wrist in case you threw it? Especially if you threw your cell phone into your TV and they both broke. That'd be really shitty. So I don't know if that was one of the reasons why the game working on cell phones wasn't such a great plan. But I'm glad that Tommy is starting to relive some of the ideas with the LED lights. He talked about how the console can turn them off and on now. So we were seeing a lot of improvements. And I think if Intellivision takes like a whole year off, redesigns the controller, redesigns some of the features, so instead of having like these NFF cards or whatever they are, NFTs, that we actually switch to console cartridges, that'd be fucking amazing. Like, I don't know, if that was one of the announcements Tommy made, he's like, hey guys, we dropped the whole NFT card idea, and now we're using actual cartridges. It'll cost a little bit more in these consoles, but I think people would like it. I don't know, it's a battle between communism and not, so maybe they could do a hybrid of both. Who knows? All right, so yeah, good luck with Tommy and the Amico. Hopefully he gets a lot of success. Good luck to all of his company and their new employees. I like that one guy who did the video. He's pretty professional. Seems like he's got his shit together. Way better than I do. All right, yeah, we gave a shout out to the viewer, so let's go to the fire screen. All right, if you happen to get any Intellivision Amico cards in your Vaporizer, or Intellivision original cards in your Vaporizer, and they taste like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like. Really appreciate it. And just make sure, never buy the products from my sponsor.
Because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone.
And if everyone likes the Intellivision live streams, let me know. I guess maybe one day we could try to get Tommy as a guest, but I don't think it'll work good for my show because I get nervous when I talk to celebrities, so he's like one of the biggest celebrities around, and I probably wouldn't do a good interview. But anyways, yeah, thanks everyone for watching and the great content and adding all the great questions. I think you kept me pretty on track. I don't think I missed any of the slides I had ready. No, we didn't. Oh yeah, and congratulations to Tommy on the Hall of Fame. And thanks again to Papa Pete. Make sure everyone subscribes to his YouTube and his Facebook pages too. All right, bye for now, everyone. Later. Alright, see you everyone. Good luck. Hope everyone who pre-ordered gets their consoles when they dream.